Rules Committee will the Rules Committee will come to order. We are here for consideration under emergency status, as Mr. McGovern likes to regularly remind us, to allow for consideration of a same-day rule that will help us ensure that we address the very important need to have a continuing resolution. And I'd like to begin by recognizing my good friend from Worcester.
Thank you. And you pronounced Worcester right this time too, so that's really good.
Well, you know, wonders never cease.
But I want to thank you for reminding me to remind you that this was an emergency meeting, which means that this will not be subject to the 72-hour rule. But I want to make a request of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. The same request that I've made, and Mr. Hastings and Mr. Polis and Ms. Slaughter have made before on many occasions. And that is sometime between tonight and tomorrow morning, you will have to make a choice about the next step on this legislation. And I hope that you will not choose the path to partisanship by moving what should be a non-controversial bill even farther to the right. And instead will seek the middle, where the majority of the House is, where the Senate is, and where the American people are. And so I hope that that's the direction that we move. And I guess I'll end with a question, and that is, I mean, do you anticipate that we'll be meeting tomorrow morning? Is that the...
The short answer is that I'm not sure exactly what our schedule will consist of. Obviously, we have discussions that are underway. We know that it's very important for us to move ahead with this legislation. The House has cast a vote on the package that was before us. I will say that leading up to today's vote, as you know, we met yesterday to put into place a structure that was based on a bipartisan request that came from the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader so that they could move expeditiously in the Senate. And there was, as was stated in the colloquy last week, bipartisan support. The Minority Whip stated that he was supportive of the measure last week, and obviously that changed over the past few days. So it is what it is, and it's created a situation that has led us to the necessity of having a rule that will allow for same-day consideration, and it will obviously mean that we need to put together a package that will allow us to pass a continuing resolution.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr.
Mr.
Hastings.
Chairman, I really am interested to know whether or not the chairman or anyone else knows what, if anything, the Senate intends to do.
Well, obviously, we always have all kinds of jokes on that, but we don't know exactly what is going to happen on this. We do know the request that was made by Senators Reid and McConnell was that we had the structure, considering it as an amendment, as we did today on the floor, so that they could move as quickly as possible in the Senate to get this done. And this rule that I hope we're going to pass out in just a moment will allow for us to do as we indicated, and that is to move as quickly as possible to bring about a resolution. So the chair will be in receipt of a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the committee report a rule that waives the requirement of Clause 6A of Rule 13, requiring a two-thirds vote to consider a rule on the same day it is reported from the Rules Committee. The rule allows for the same-day consideration of any resolution reported to the legislative day of September 30, 2011, related to a measure making continuing appropriations for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2012.
You've heard the motion of the gentleman. Let me just say again, it's very clear that this same-day rule will allow for us to consider only the continuing resolution, and that's why we're establishing this, and I hope very much that we can all be supportive of this effort. Mr. McGovern. Oh, okay. I thought you might have a point to make. The vote occurs on the motion of the gentleman from Dallas. Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed,
aye.
Here the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Sept.
Aye.
Mr. Sept. Aye. Ms. Fox.
Aye.
Ms. Fox. Aye. Mr. Bishop. Aye. Mr. Bishop. Aye. Mr. Woodall. Aye. Mr. Woodall. Aye. Mr. Nugent. Aye. Mr. Nugent. Aye. Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott. Aye. Mr. Webster. Yay. Mr. Webster. Aye. Ms. Slaughter. Mr. Chair.
I think I'll vote yes. Wanted to make it creative. And the clerk reports total.
8 yeas and 3 nays.
And the motion is agreed to, and I will be managing this rule for the majority, and Mr. Hastings for the minority. Thank you all very much. We'll certainly give you notice for a meeting. Without objection, the committee stands adjourned.